Hey everyone. So, this is Maple Running or Nicolas Abanto Enns. I'm a Canadian runner and I compete in the collegiate system. I'm soon to doing my master's and I'm gonna have another 2 years in university and I have 2 more years out of the 5 years of eligibility. And so, my goal is to break 8:30 in the 3K next season. Um, one thing I wanted to bring up is that the reason I'm sort of making this video is to give like a guideline to my training methodology, how I'm gonna hit this 3K, all the things that are gonna go into it. I'm not doing everything that's gonna go into it on this video, but just I wanted to make this for clarification, just on my background, so that when I actually have my training plan, I can point to this video if I need to say anything. Oops, there we go. All right, so early career. I started running basically in grade 7. I mean, you could say I did a little bit of cross country, meaning grade 6, grade 5, or whatever. By the way, grade 7 is middle school or junior high for Americans. I think this is like your 11-year-old range or 12-year-old, something like that. Grade 12 is senior high school, and so grade 7 and 8, I was pretty good, generally the best or second best in my city. I was running like, I think, I ran like a 4:55 1500 in grade 7 and a 4 like 44 in grade 8, or something like that. So I was pretty good, at least relatively. That gave me obviously like a lot of confidence. I never learned how to properly train, and so I was like a big anime watcher back then, and so there's this kind of like training conception that I learned from these shows, which is just like it's about training like 120% every single session, which bled into my training and ultimately led to my slump. Right before I get to my slump, or I guess as I was going through high school, I was best in the second year of high school around grade 10, which was around in the winter though. So this was before the like our summer track season. I roughly peaked in that winter, and I never got better throughout like the next 2.5 years of high school. Um, and even when I got into university, first and second year of university, which was 2016, 2017. I don't know why I had. Oh, well, yeah, that's why. In 2016, 2017, I was in university. I pretty much was just as good as I was in grade 10, not significantly better. And I ended up slumping because I didn't really know how to train, and I was kind of like irresponsible with my training. I didn't have like a lot of guideline. I didn't have like a good guideline. My coaches, we had a really big program, and so the we had great coaches, but the thing is, there was just too many of us, and as soon as you know if you're at the top and then you sort of like faded down to like the middle, they didn't like prioritize you as much, and I don't really blame them, to be honest, because there's two coaches and there's like 40 of us or something like that, so too difficult to have like a close relationship, I think. So I ended up quitting running altogether. I think in 2017, in the first year of my track at U Ottawa, and I stopped running. I gained weight all the way until like 2019. I was running like here and there. I maybe ran like twice a month, sort of thing. But then by 2020, I decided that I wanted to start running again, and I had the goal to break 9 minutes in the 3,000 meter. And I chose that because pretty much like everyone I grew up with broke 9 minutes or like much, and obviously got much faster. But everyone broke 9 minutes, or everyone broke 4 minutes in the 1,500, or broke 2 minutes in the 800. So everyone got these milestones except for me. And so I decided that I wanted to break this barrier as well. So I started running again, and I started researching into like how to train and all that stuff, and I got pretty good. So within like 6, or within like even like maybe not 6 months, but within like 4 or 5 months, I was pretty much in peak shape that I've ever been, but just like marginally peak shape. You know, and I never got to race because I was like constantly injured, and I had, well, okay, I'll get into this later, but basically I never raced until, and we were also in COVID, so there were no opportunities to race. And so I sort of unofficially joined the university track team in 2020. The reason I was in school so long is that I switched programs, so just as an aside. I officially joined in 2021 and 2022, where I got an actual season. I ended up getting injured in the winter, so I didn't have a track season, so I never got to run the 3,000 meters or any track meet. But I did run cross country. It was okay, not a great season. But yeah, last season I had my first like full season. So cross country went okay. I'll talk about that later. And then I had a track season where I ended up breaking 9 minutes, and I got, do I say it in this? No. And I ran a 8:49 converted time. I also ran an 8:51 just flat time. But yeah, anyways. So I broke my goal by a decent amount, and I still thought I had like a lot of room for improvement. It's just the season's really short, and I was kind of dealing with a small injury at the very beginning of the season, so I skipped out on like the first few races of the season because I just wanted to get more in fitness quicker without having to a race getting in the middle of my training. And so I think if I had, another month, I'd be able to bring that down a little bit, not too significantly, but like I think I was in shape to run an 8:45, but and I ran an 8:49. So take that as you will. I ran 8:49, I guess. So we're not gonna start making up what I could and couldn't run. But yeah, the goal right now is to run 8:30. So let's talk about goal setting. So I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. And this section, honestly, now that I made this PowerPoint like a few weeks ago, but now that I'm going over it, I don't know if I need to go over this too in depth. But for specific, I'm trying to run an 8:30. Measurable. What does it take to run an 8:30? Well, 3,000 meter is 7.5 laps, and you have to run 68s for the whole thing per lap. Achievable. Can I make a 20-second PB? I think so. So let's just get into like the realistic and timely. This goal is, I'm planning, it's May like 22nd, I think. Yeah, it's May 22nd right now, and I'm planning on running this PB by next February. So I have like what, 9 months or 9-ish months. I have 9 months to get this goal, which I think is pretty realistic if this is like my focus. I think one issue, and I know that paying attention to the numbers is like kind of a trap in track and field. Obviously, I'm going to play with this as I get closer. Like maybe if I'm in much better shape, we're going to go for like lower on race day. But in terms of training for until the end of next season, the goal, the training is going to be centered around 8:30. And if I'm in better shape than 8:30, I'm still going to focus on an 8:30 shape. And then if I get faster or if I'm slower, I'm still going to try to base my training off of 8:30 shape. Okay, philosophy. So consistency. I've been injured quite a bit. I also have a heart arrhythmia issue that often comes up and gets in the way of my training. But the big thing I need to do is just be consistent with my training. From like 2020 to like, I don't want to say now, but until like 2022, I guess, I spent like literally half of that. I spent like a whole year injured, but spread out over those 2 years. And that like set me back quite a lot. Every time I was getting into shape, I got injured again. And I don't actually think the injury was from overtraining, but it's possible that, or not possible, it's definitely a component of it. I don't think it's like solely because of that though. Second, polarized training. Now, before I get into polarized training, actually no, let's just get into it. As you guys probably know, if you're watching this, you're probably already a running nerd, anyways. Let's be honest. But the gist is keep the easy days easy and the hard days hard. I think this is like mostly in terms of intensity. The thing is that on easy days, we still want to like push it in terms of duration, just not in terms of intensity. The hard days, we want to push it in terms of intensity. But one of the issues is that, well, I totally believe in polarized training. Maybe I should have added this, but there's this other type of training that I've kind of I want to call it high volume training, and this is what Neil Vanderhaal, he's a speed skater, got the world record in speed skating for both the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter. A few, like I think last year or something like that, or maybe 2 years ago by now. And I will try to link the training in his in the description, but it is so crazy, and we're gonna like take from that. And so the gist is a lot of the training is gonna be at like a zone 1 or zone 2 effort of training, but it's gonna be pretty long. And so since it's pretty long, it's not necessarily like easy, it's just slower. And so I guess this kind of moves on to the third point, extending versus intensifying. And so what the goal is we're going to try to get high volume, both in like the slower, on our easier days and on our harder days. So for example, instead of, when we're running 68s, for example, instead of saying like, oh, we're in faster than 830 shape, so let's start running like 67s or 66s per lap. No, we're going to keep running 68s, but we're just going to run more 68s. Or, we're going to run 216s, which is 68s over 800 meters. Or, we're going to run 250 kilometers, which is the same pace. Or we're going to run, do that times 2, trying to do math on the spot, like 540s. Right? So instead of getting faster, we're just going to try to keep that longer. And yeah. The last thing is cycling. This is kind of bringing in from all these other 3 points, where I think cycling is one of the most underutilized tools for runners, I mean, where you can build an incredibly strong aerobic base while staying injury preventative. It also keeps everything easy, keeps your muscles, bones and everything more or less safe. And we're going to do this at like an easy effort. So we're trying to never do a single cycling workout. So I guess one thing is we're going to add in cycling, but we're never going to do a cycling workout. It's all going to be easy. Zone 1, maybe zone 2, if we're going to do our long cycle ever. Okay, so how are we gonna? So we're gonna have right now we're in May 22nd. I actually have a half marathon coming up this week. It's Monday today, and so I'm racing it on Sunday. So this might be my only race of the season, and I'm not training super seriously for this race. It's more like just for fun. It's a really big race, and I want to win it, but it's not a very competitive race. The winner is, if it's not me, the winner is going to be around like 71 minutes likely. And so I'm maybe in 70 minute shape, maybe. I'm probably closer to 72 minute shape if I'm being honest, but we'll see. I don't think running like a 69 high is out of the question. I just think that would be very difficult. So after this, so starting June, we're just going to hop into aerobic season. We're going to cancel our track season, and we're just going to be trying to get that volume up as high as possible, while staying consistent, obviously, and healthy. Okay, and then we're going to have XC season. And so this is going to be about building threshold and power. So we're going to add in more workouts. Not nothing too crazy. We're probably still going to only have 3 workouts a week, but these workouts we're going to focus on doing everything at like threshold pace and building power. What this means is doing like hills, doing more hills. Then we're going to get to indoor track season. So indoor track season starts kind of in December, and it ends in February, March if you're really good. And I don't think by the end of the season 8:30 is enough for me to compete in March, but it's enough for me to get to my provincials. And so yeah, so indoor track season, this is where we're going to focus on quantity at pace. I was kind of already talking about this, but running a bunch of 68s. The goal is from December, January, and I guess early February, so for 10 weeks, we're going to run as many 68-second laps as possible. I'm taking this idea from Neil Vanderhaal on how he got his world record. He did this for speed skating. I'm going to try to do this for running, but doing with my goal of 68s. Competition, this is just like the racing season. Yeah, obviously, I'll talk about it when I'm actually showing my training plan, which is going to be the next video. And then the last thing is aerobic season 2.0. So this is a really important step, which a lot of people missed. A lot of people on my track team, they're young guys. I'm like a few years older than them because I switched programs and everything. So you got like a bunch of like 19, 20-year-olds. I'm 24, by the way. And what happens is they have a season, they run PBs, and then they take this like speed and intensity that they had, and the season ends, and then they keep doing that for workouts, and then more than half of them got injured. Minor injuries, but still, I mean, more than half the people on my program. So we're talking like, or at least the guys who I train with. So we're talking, at least like 5 or 6 out of 10, something like that, or out of 12. I don't know the number off the top of my head. Got injured. And so, and this is because they keep the intensity way too high after the season ends. So once we finish our last race, doesn't matter, how we're feeling, we're going to cut the cord, cutting the power cord. I don't know if that's a real expression. We're going to cut the power cord, and we are pull the plug. Oh, it's pull the plug. Oh. Anyways, we're going to pull the plug, and we're going to get back into aerobic season 2.0 where we're just building that base again. And this is to stay injury preventative. Okay, last thing. I'm going to also be making my weekly training plans. They're actually all going to look the same pretty much, but I'm going to make my training plan. I'm going to try to move to coaching, and I'll be posting my weekly training plans and recaps and videos. This is to hold myself accountable. I'm going to offer a coaching service for anyone who wishes to do similar training. I don't think, if you guys want to do this for free and you want to copy my workouts, totally good. They're free. Take them. I hope it helps your running and your running career and everything. However, I find that having a coach-athlete relationship is really important for your longevity, just for your enjoyment of the sport. Coaches make sure that you're not making mistakes rather than it's more about you're not making mistakes rather than you're doing the right thing. And it doesn't have to be me. I do not everyone needs a coach, but I think it is something you should maybe consider. The YouTube, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know what the YouTube is. Twitter, Maple Running. You can email me at that email and follow me on Strava maybe. All right, thank you. Stay tuned for the training sessions, and thank you for watching if you got this far into it. All right, have a good one. Peace.